It's one of the greatest rivalries in college football. Nick Saban's Crimson Tide getting set to take on Ole Miss. And Jalen Milroe is back in the starting lineup as the quarterback for the Tide. Lane Kiffin strolling in, getting set for the 71st meeting between Ole Miss and Alabama.
Alabama is one of the unique programs in all the land, and something's amiss.
But can they get back to where they were?
Alabama's going to right this ship.
I like the team. I got confidence in our team. I really do.
Touchdown, Alabama!
It is the biggest test in American sport to play the Mighty Tide.
This is one of the best teams, dynasty, and one of the hardest places to play. A huge challenge.
You can't write a better script than this.
It's all hotty-toddy.
Here come the Rebels.
Get your popcorn ready.
Caught Wayne Bowling. What a catch!
Touchdown, Alabama!
Touchdown, Ole Miss.
Only got one chance to make the crowd go wild.
Over 100,000 on hand here in Tuscaloosa, getting set for Alabama and Ole Miss. It's the first day of fall, but it actually feels like summertime, except for the atmosphere. It's number 15 against number 13. The SEC on CBS is brought to you by the Home Depot. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy. I got an offensive lineman in Ross Tucker. I got a defensive back in Jason McCourty. The pride of Georgia State, Tiffany Blackman, will join us in just a little bit, as will Gene Steratore. Happy to be with you from Tuscaloosa, where we've had some interesting conversations this week. And, Ross, we think about Ole Miss, and we think about them knocking on the door.
Well, it feels like a huge opportunity for Ole Miss and their head coach, Lane Kiffin, to knock off the Crimson Tide. Remember, Lane Kiffin, 0-4 all-time against Nick Saban. But just based on the way these teams have played coming into this game, it feels like his best chance to beat his former boss.
Meanwhile, Jason, it's been an interesting couple of weeks for the Crimson Tide.
It has, and everyone's talking about Ole Miss's opportunity. What a chance for Alabama. 2 lackluster weeks. You come back home, SEC opener, to go on and put on a performance. Everybody's counting Alabama out. The dynasty is over. Well, they get a chance this afternoon to show everybody they're still Alabama.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is that they want to show everybody they're still Alabama. Now, we talk about it being an interesting week. They've had stability at the quarterback position for about the last 8 years. They're very unstable right now. But Jalen Milroe is going to be the starter today, Ross, so that might take a little pressure off everybody.
Well, and based on watching their first 3 games, it's absolutely the right decision. Milroe's been very good throwing the ball deep. He has a really strong arm. And when he gets the ball in space, I mean, look at him. He looks like a running back out there with how big and fast he is. That's the positive. The negative has just been the turnovers. I mean, he had 2 very costly interceptions against Texas, which really hurt Alabama. They need him to prevent doing those today.
Well, as you can see, here come the Crimson Tide and the Rebels of Ole Miss. Well, they are the number 13 team in the country. You know, Nick Saban has talked a lot about his quarterback this week, but, Jason, he's also talked about his backfield. It's a really good backfield.
It is, and Roydell Williams had one heck of a finish to the game last week. Over 100 yards in the second half against USF, and it came a lot of it on that last drive of the game. He said, hey, a dog, go out there and be one. And he was that. Do what you do. That's what Roydell Williams did. And you mentioned the backfield as a whole. Chase McClellan, the other guy, his friend, those guys have a great relationship, and they get it done.
Yeah, they say that's the best room in Alabama is the running back room. All right, for Ole Miss, it's been a pretty cool year for them offensively. Their numbers are through the roof offensively. In fact, they're averaging 53 points per game. That's not just it. They're also averaging over 8 yards per play. Passing yards, 349.7, and total yards, nearly 530. And Jason, it begins with their quarterback, Jackson Dart.
Yes, and offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. said, this is what you want your quarterback to be. First guy in the building, last one to leave. He is a leader. He loves getting to know his teammates and being around them. We know his strong arm. He can throw the ball all over the field, but he can run it too. And he says, hey, mom is telling me to slide. Dad raised me to be a football player, not just a quarterback. And he has some swag too.
Well, he can run the ball, but they also have a guy in the backfield in Quinshon Judkins who can run the ball too.
Well, all he did last year was have the best freshman season in the SEC since Herschel Walker. I mean, you ever heard of him? Now, he's been a little bit banged up so far this year, but he told us this week he is fully healthy, ready to go against his home state team. He's from Alabama.
Well, we mentioned the coaches are always part of the storyline, and for more on that, here's Tiffany Blackman.
Tom, Coach Lane Kiffin kicked off this game week against the Crimson Tide by publicly questioning whether or not coordinator Kevin Steele was still calling plays for this Alabama defense after their loss to Texas. Kiffin believes Travaris Robinson, Alabama's cornerbacks coach, is calling the plays, telling reporters on Sunday it certainly seems like T-Rob's now calling the defense. And he pointed out his familiarity of facing a South Carolina defense led by Robinson in the past. But Coach Nick Saban definitively said this week Kevin Steele is the defensive coordinator. And when we asked Saban for his thoughts on why Kiffin would comment on his staff, he told us, my thoughts are you need to ask Lane about that, which we did, guys, in our meeting. And Kiffin told us he was just answering a question that was asked to him during his media session.
Yeah, it was such a great exchange this entire week. In fact, Lane Kiffin continued to go on social media even today before this. All right, so the series history, it started in 1894. This is the 71st meeting overall, and the Tide has dominated it. Alabama's won the last 7 games. Bama won the toss. And will kick off to start this ball game. The 71st meeting between Alabama and Ole Miss is underway from Tuscaloosa. The kickoff is going to go over the head of the return man out of the back of the offense. All right, so let's take a look at our Papa John's starting lineups. We begin with Jackson Dart. This kid has got moxie. He not only can throw the ball, but he also can run hard, too.
And he's a lot of fun to watch. And they said from last year to this year, he had big plays, but now he's eliminating the mistakes, and that's why he's able to take another step. Let's see what he does. SEC opener. Let's get to it.
And the other part of it, too, is they will play fast. By the way, Caden Prescorn is in the starting lineup. He's number 86 in motion for the Rebels on first down from the 25-yard line. They hand it off on a jet sweep and quickly getting a couple yards. Dayton Wade, but it's read beautifully for Alabama. Let's take a look at the Ole Miss starting lineup. Ross, what stands out for you here?
I would say the left tackle, Victor Kern. You know, we know the transfer portal era. He came in from Washington, and he's really been Ole Miss's best offensive lineman so far this year.
Honorable mention, all Pac-12 selection. Man in motion to the outside. That's Franklin, who's getting a chance to start. They throw to the middle of the field, and Prescorn, first catch as a Rebel, and he dives forward to the 48-yard line. This is what they want to do with him.
Well, look at all of the time that Dart has, and then that's a dropped coverage, Jason, already on the second play of the game.
And they quickly get up to the line of scrimmage. They'll run the ball. Judkins' first run of the day. So this Bama defense is going to be tested because of the speed of Ole Miss.
One of the guys that's out there that can cover his butt off, Kool-Aid McKinstry. He'll be up on the line of scrimmage, bumping and run, and has the hips to run all over the field with any receiver. 5
receivers, empty backfield for Dart, looking to throw on second down. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw it away to the sidelines of Alabama. Turner was tracking him down as best he could for Alabama.
And Dart has time here. He's looking deep down the field, and you're going to see the coverage right there from McKinstry, from Moore. Those guys are in man-to-man, and their guys are covered up. Dart makes a good decision, throws it away, but he's back there baking the cake in the pocket.
By the way, it's third down, but again, they got a really good place kicker who can hit it from a long distance. Out of the backfield is Judkins. They give it off to Judkins. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage by Malachi Moore, and he's taken down eventually on the outside. Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Well, Kool-Aid made the tackle, but really Malachi Moore, watch the left side of your screen. Malachi Moore is going to come in, and he's going to force it to bounce as much as it did. Nobody's even blocking McKinstry, but Malachi Moore really made that play.
He definitely does. Just reading that run-pass option, seeing that is coming on the outside. Hey, corners can tackle, too. They can come up and knock a running back down. McKinstry doing a really good job in run coverage.
So it'll be 4th down.
That sounds like a T-shirt. Corners can tackle, too.
Yes, it does.
Give him some love.
Mazin is on to punt the ball away. And McKinstry calls for the fair catch inside the 10-yard line. All right, so we talked so much about how Alabama has to get started quick offensively. Well, they're going to get it back. 13 minutes to play, first quarter. Back here in Tuscaloosa with 13 minutes to play in the first quarter. Our lineup's presented by Papa John's. And let's take a look at Jalen Milroe. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on this guy to step back into the job.
And he has to start fast today. After being benched, there's something psychological for an athlete. You're kind of looking over your shoulder. If he can build confidence early on in this game, I think that'll go a long way.
The offense for Alabama.
Caden Proctor, the true freshman left tackle. He is very talented. He's gigantic at 6'7", 360, but he has struggled. They need him to play better than he has the last couple weeks.
So first down from the 9-yard line. In motion is Oots. The tight end lines up left side of the offensive line. They give it to McClellan right out of the gate. McClellan trying to find some room. He darts to his right and gets up to the 15-yard line. Let's take a look at this Ole Miss defense. Jared Ivey made that tackle. He's at the DN position. But we look into the secondary.
Trey Washington, SEC Player of the Week. He's the quarterback of the defense. Gets everybody lined up and a communicator to all that's out there. A playmaker for them on the defensive side of the ball.
3 receivers at the top of your screen for Alabama. In motion is Oots. Looks like he's going to line up again left side of the offensive line on second down. They run it again. Not much there. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. Ukwu was there to make that initial hit, and diving forward was McClellan. He got a couple yards.
Ukwu has played very well, the JMU transfer. Watch him right side of your screen, knife in there and beat the block from Rob Utes. Rob Utes is look at the hands there. I mean, that's how they teach it. Lock out, extend. 3rd and short here for Bama.
In motion is Bonds. They'll line up in the slot. On 3rd down, plenty of time on the play clock. A 4-man front defensively for Ole Miss. And Milroe will throw. He can also run. He's going to run for the first down and more. He's across the 35, dives forward to the 37. That kind of stuff, I think, will lift him up a little bit.
Right here, this is how you build confidence. You're going to see him drop back. He's looking down the field. And then next thing you know, look at that gigantic hole right there that Ole Miss creates in their pass rush. Part of getting after Milroe be just keep him in the pocket. Let's see what he can do with his arm. A good way to get this thing going with his feet.
Gain of 20 yards up to the 37-yard line. Nyblack is in motion. They hand the ball off again. It's McClellan again trying to get to the edge. He bounces across the 40, close to the 42-yard line. Ivey makes the tackle for Ole Miss.
You know, I think you can say this in every game, that it's important to get off to a fast start, but that is especially the case for Jalen Milroe. Just talking with both coaching staffs, this first quarter is almost a struggle, a battle for Jalen Milroe's confidence. Obviously, Alabama's trying to give him some easy completions and run the ball so he can build it up. Ole Miss doesn't want Milroe to get confidence early in this game. They're going to try to change up the looks.
Yeah, they've got Roydell Williams in. He's going to block for Milroe, and Milroe inside Ole Miss territory, moving his feet, and he's down to the 40-yard line. Prince eventually made the tackle, but they were trying to get him at the 48, at the 47, and he eventually went down to the 40-yard line.
They like to get Milroe in space. Watch Roydell Williams and Dupree. That's the key, right? The tight end 81 will seal. Number 5, Roydell Williams, attack the outside of the defender. If you attack the outside of the defender, he has to respect that. He can't let Milroe get outside. That creates that huge seam.
Big deal, though. He's got a 20-yard run and a 19-yard run on this first drive. On first down, Oots goes in motion. It's Williams in the backfield. Milroe looking to throw. Throws it to the far side of the field. It's complete to Burton. And Burton gets 8 yards to the 32-yard line. Walton makes the tackle. Let's go down to Tiffany.
Hey guys, well, Coach Nick Saban told us his message to Jalen Milroe was that you don't have anything to prove. You don't have to try to be a hero. Just be the point guard, distribute the ball, and get out there and have fun with this team, guys.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, Tiffany, that he was talking so much in basketball terms as they give it to Williams for a first down to the 26-yard line. You know, he was trying to change the thinking for Milroe and go from one sport to another.
So you don't need 35 points. 13 assists, 0 turnovers.
Exactly.
Is one heck of a game. And you think about the quarterback a year ago, Bryce Young, when he was coming out for the draft, everybody was talking about him being a point guard and being able to distribute the ball. Great athletes sometimes think they have to make the play. The quarterback position, just get into your playmaker's hands.
First down for the 26-yard line. Nyblack in motion to the far side. Milroe, quick drop back out of the gun, throws to the middle of the field, passes complete to the middle of the field. Dupree, they've used 3 different tight ends as Monty Montgomery makes the tackle. Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator.
It was funny talking with Tommy yesterday about Milroe being benched, and Tommy said, yeah, I mean, I got benched pretty much every year at Notre Dame. So it's not usual or customary to have a coordinator who played at a major program like Notre Dame who knows what it's like. And he said to Jalen Milroe, listen, quarterback lives are long. Just stick with it. And they're trying to build up his confidence.
Second down and 4. McClellan checks back in. So he and Williams continue to switch off. 3 receivers, bottom of the screen. They give it to McClellan. McClellan is hit. And he's dropped. A loss on the play. Joshua Harris from the nose tackle position just dove right in.
That's a couple plays in a row now. Ole Miss has been able to get some penetration. Watch Monty Montgomery, number 8, come through. That is a face-up square tackle on the hole there. McClellan brings up 3rd and long. Every 3rd down, alert Milroe's legs.
10th play of the drive on 3rd down. Milroe is using his legs. Nothing's there. He's taken down. The freshman, Suntaran Perkins, outstanding athleticism, made that sack.
Yes, he's a guy that they're trying to get going. And just a poor decision from Milroe right here. You're in an opportunity where you're going for it. It's 3rd and 5. If you don't get it, if you throw the ball away, that gives Nick Saban a chance to decide, hey, do I want to go for it on 4th down? But he doesn't allow that.
Not only that, they had a nice pocket. He escaped to the right. He didn't need to. He could have just stepped up in the pocket. He got a little bit nervous there. His offensive line gave him outstanding time.
Reichert is on for the 48-yard field goal attempt from the far hash. It's a good snap, good hole. Kick is on its way, and it is good. And Alabama strikes first. 6:57 to play, first quarter. On top 3-0 over Ole Miss. 3-0 Alabama on top, 6:57 to play here in the first quarter. Alabama has not scored in the first quarter or held a first quarter lead since September 2nd against Middle Tennessee. So that's a good start for Nick Saban's team. 11 plays, 8 runs, 2 passes, and then, of course, the field goal by Reichert, 48 yards. Jackson Dart looking to get back on the field, down 3-0. Ulysses Bentley's back deep to receive. This one's going to go over his head. It's going to sidewind out of the back of the end zone. CBS tomorrow, the television phenomenon Yellowstone continues as part of a CBS event. Don't miss a second of television's biggest show with back-to-back episodes of Yellowstone tomorrow after 60 Minutes on CBS.
My wife absolutely loves that show.
How could she
like maybe favorite show ever.
You don't?
I haven't had a chance to check it out with her yet.
Oh, come on,
I'm
Ross.
waiting until tomorrow night after 60 Minutes on CBS.
Casey Dutton's my favorite, just so when you're watching it.
Well, first down for Ole Miss. Judkins in the backfield. They have an H-back back there as well. Dart looking to throw. Throws to the far side. Passes complete to Wade. And Wade's got some daylight inside Alabama territory. And out of bounds, close to the 37. Jalen Key eventually made the tackle.
Look at what they do with Wade here. He starts all the way tight to the formation on the right. It looks like he's running a crossing route, and then he turns it upfield. The offensive line, credit to them for giving them protection to get it to him.
It's the 4th catch of 40 yards or more for Wade, but this time nothing doing on first down. It's a loss on the play. Malachi Moore is so good. He snuffed that out right at the beginning.
Loved watching Moore on tape. just your classic Alabama star position, the nickel that you know so much about, Jason. One of the toughest spots to play.
So much responsibility. You're a linebacker, but also a DB. You have to know the entire defense and be a great communicator.
Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 12. We got a chance to talk to Malachi yesterday. Off the fake pitch, they throw to the far side. Pass is complete to the far side, and there's Trey Harris. We weren't sure how much he would play. Very talented receiver. Well, obviously, he's playing in an important spot.
And he's a guy already 5 touchdowns on the season. But this right here comes Zachary Franklin enters the game.
Yep.
Yes, from UTSA, a transfer. He gets in getting his first action, a guy they've raved about.
On 1st down, they hand the ball off. And he breaks 1 tackle and gets to the outside. Judkins inside the 10-yard line. Not only did he break 1 tackle, he got into the pile and bounced off.
Well, he told us he was healthy, and that might be his best run so far this year against Alabama. And Ole Miss right on the ball. Yep. Be alert for Dart's legs here in the red zone.
Yeah, he's trying to run it. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and then nailed and taken down at the 6-yard line. Tim Smith made the hit. Dart lost his helmet.
Dart's going to have to come out for a play.
Well, Spencer Sanders, so talented at Oklahoma State, is going to come in and run this offense for Ole Miss.
Well, it's interesting. Oh, there was a face mask at the tail end of that. And that's interesting, too, because if his helmet came off because of the penalty, then he would have been able to stay on the field. Sanders can run, though, too. Both these quarterbacks can run. And Charlie Weiss Jr. said, red zone and 3rd down is when we like to run our quarterbacks.
Franklin on the outside, pre-scored in motion on 2nd down and goal from the 7 and pre-scored jumps. Well, he's been so antsy to play, I guess. He wanted to get involved in it. And on the other side, if you're Spencer Sanders, you got to leave probably.
Well, you hear that and see that so often when a new quarterback comes in. It's a different cadence. Not everybody's blue 80. Blue 80 sounds the same. They all have a little bit of a different cadence. And Prescorn just started getting reps this week with Dart, let alone Sanders, the backup.
So now 2nd and goal from the 11-yard line. Bentley checks in the backfield. And a bunch formation to the left. Whistle blows. And I think they're going to have Dart check out again. Wow. To get looked at. The official, the referee, is Scott Walker.
Least 4 minutes and 35 seconds on the game clock. 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
2nd down and 12. Gene, what do you have on the clarification of that?
What you have, guys, is because Dart was out, the false start prevented the snap, so you actually didn't have a play, so he can't participate until an actual play takes place. That's why he has to sit for 1.
Well, here is that play. It's a shovel pass, and running to the right is Wade, and Wade is shuttled out of bounds right into the cheerleaders. Gene, we appreciate that. That's a great clarification on your part, and it does make sense. There wasn't a play.
It does make sense, and that allows him now to go back in the game. But we see right there, Wade, they're trying to get the ball in his hands in space. He's somewhat of their gadget guy. He's the guy that on the reversals, the screens outside, he's the one they want to get the ball in his hands because he's really good after he has it.
Bentley's in the slot to the right, 3 receivers to the left. And Dart looks left. Now he's going to run. He's darting inside the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Rebels. It's a 10-yard sprint for Dart. And we said he uses his arm and he can use his legs.
Well, it makes sense, right? They go to an empty set, so everybody's wide. Look at that hole. Any of us could have scored right there. A little surprising because if we know that Ole Miss likes to use the quarterback legs in the red zone. You know Alabama knows that, but the defense had to be stretched wide because of the empty set.
And still went straight coverage on that one. You got to keep a spy in there for that reason.
Caden Davis drills the extra point, and it's 7-3 Ole Miss. 3:55 to play here in the first quarter. Jackson Dart, he is dynamic, and he's into the end zone.
At Papa John.
7-3 Ole Miss, 7 plays, 75 yards. In just over 3 minutes, they had 4 plays on that drive. They were 10 yards or more. All right, let's take a look at this touchdown.
The two backers right here, you're going to see as soon as the ball snaps, they're going to get their eyes to man-to-man. Both safeties in the back end are double teaming. Everybody is playing coverage. That leaves the lane wide open for the quarterback. Ross, to your point, when you know you have a guy back there that can run and use his legs, you have to keep eyes on him and make sure you keep him in the pocket.
Law is back deep to receive for Alabama. This kickoff will take him into the end zone. He'll let it go over his head. Now it's time for Do Project Smarter, presented by the Home Depot.
And one of the things Alabama has to do smarter and better is pass protection. They have really struggled through the first 3 weeks. Sometimes it's the running backs here on a play-action pass, not able to pick up the linebacker, but a lot of times it's been the offensive line, including the highly touted left tackle, Caden Proctor. Alabama's given up 5 sacks in back-to-back games for the first time under Nick Saban.
And only 6 teams have taken more sacks this year than Alabama in college football. It'll be first down for the 25-yard line. Oots in motion. McClellan back in the backfield. And Milroe looking to throw, dancing in the pocket. Pocket's collapsing. He'll run. And he'll get 3 yards up to the 28-yard line. Tennyson made the tackle for Ole Miss.
Well, Tennyson, watch right here. Golding told us he's going to be the spy. Watch, he's the spy. Right there. He's got eyes on Milroe. That is not easy, and he was able to bring him down. But they feel like Ladarius Tennyson is fast enough that he can spy Milroe and be able to make those plays like he just made right there.
4 carries, 31 yards for Milroe. In motion is Bond. Milroe looking to throw. Hitches to the left, trying to set up the screen. McClellan, and he's tripped up but stays on his feet before he's ripped down close to the 38-yard line. It was Tennyson that hit him in the backfield. Cedric Johnson cleaned him up.
The one thing about Tennyson, to your point, he's the spy, but before he gets back to Milroe, he's able to help his fellow DBs back there in coverage and protect the middle of the field. So he almost has 2 jobs in one.
So now third down. Pass is tipped and incomplete, intended for Bonds. This is what we talked about in the open, just not being able to find your receiver.
And the one thing we saw against Texas, he struggled to identify where to go with the ball. That's not the case here. A really good job by Milroe, but that's almost a miscommunication. Right there, it looked like Bond thinks, hey, I'm going outside. Milroe thinks he's just going to sit it down and put the throw rate on him. And I don't know if it's maybe a week of not starting, that kind of connection that you build with your receivers.
Well, Bond just fooled the quarterback. He slid to the outside right as Milroe was throwing. I mean, it looked initially like a horrible pass by Milroe, but I think Bond kind of tricked him.
Sit down. The zone is right there. It's open for you.
Burnett Bond to punt the ball away. Watkins back for Ole Miss. Now the whistle blows and a timeout. Nope, delay game.
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And this has kind of been Alabama's season so far. I mean, already in this game, we've seen a couple of dropped coverages. And then on that one, Milroe and Bond aren't on the same page against the zone. And now you have a delayed game on a punt. They've just had some uncharacteristic mistakes you don't normally see of Nick Saban teams.
So they back it up a little bit. And Burnett punts this one away. It's a good punt. Wow. Watkins calls for the fair catch. I mean, it was high and it was far. .236 to play here in the first quarter. Pretty good start. Alabama and Ole Miss for the 71st time. Ole Miss has the lead. Sports celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month, and today we look back at the career of former Alabama star Javier Arenas. Arenas, who is of Cuban descent, had 6 interceptions with the Tide, but it was on special teams where he made his mark. Arenas set an SEC record in punt return yards and punt return touchdowns with 7 like this one. He would go on to play 5 seasons in the National Football League. Nick Saban always has his hands in special teams, so he likes that kind of a player. How can you not like that kind of player?
Anybody that can cover, stop a third down, then go back there, catch the punt, and take it to the house. You love to have a guy like that on your ball club.
All right, so far, Alabama's held the football longer with 13 plays, but it's Ole Miss that has the touchdown.
And look at this formation.
How about this? Ross, you would have loved this as an offensive lineman.
If they threw it to me out there, which they're not allowed to.
And they line up with Prescore next to the center. on first down, and a little shovel pass. A flag comes in. It was Wade who they shoveled it to.
Probably illegal formation, I would guess.
There could be a chance.
But how can you have an illegal formation with a play like that they clearly practiced all week?
So an illegal shift, according to Scott Walker.
So that's one that the coaches actually talk to the officials before the game. You know, they tell them, hey, we got this one play where we put the offensive line out to the left and we run this to make sure that the officials are not caught off guard by it.
I guess you got to be a little more convincing when you tell them about it. So first down and 15. Bentley in the game. Off the play fake. Dart looking to throw. Far side of the field. Incomplete. His intended receiver was Jordan Watkins, but he was covered up nicely.
He was covered up nicely, and you see Wade came across flying in that motion, and they were trying to get down the sideline. He's looking on the outside, but I want you guys to watch Bentley, who leaves the backfield, and he's running right inside, and right there, he's the open guy with too many bodies in the area for him to be able to locate him.
Second down and 15. Watkins goes in motion. Four-man front for Alabama defensively. Pressure's coming. Dart on the run. Eludes the defender. Throws underneath. He's got Bentley. And Bentley is hit by Malachi Moore and Deontay Lawson. Manageable, though.
Yeah, I mean, not all 7-yard gains are created equal, right? I mean, this is huge. This looked like it was going to be a throwaway. I thought he was going to throw away. The last second, he stuck with it and put them in a reasonable situation here on third down. Again, third down, alert for Dart's legs.
They're down at 3. Takes the low snap. Pressure's coming a little late. They flush him out of the pocket. Incomplete. Lawson and Keenan were both going after him in the backfield.
Dart had the time there. Every time the offensive line protects well, I feel like Ross has a big smile up there in the booth. And you're going to see Dart's going to get the ball. He's going to be looking out to the left side of the field. And Malachi Moore matched up right there on Wade, just completely shuts him down, gets his feet in the ground. It's like synchronized swimmers where you're all over the receiver. He sinks, you sink, nowhere to go with the ball.
And you and I watching them, I mean, you're the expert, but what stood out to me about Alabama's defense, their secondary is really good, very impressive.
McKinstry back deep to receive this punt. He's going to let it go over his head and out of bounds on the sidelines. Reliable connection presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, back in 2021, Alabama running backs Roydell Williams and Jace McClellan both tore their ACLs about a month apart. And through the experience, they formed a strong and playful bond. Roydell telling me that they lived in the same building. He would give Jace a hard time for using the elevator while he was putting in the extra work, taking the stairs. Roydell said that friendly competition, it pushed them to get back in that running back room together. And you guys know he had such a big smile on his face talking about his teammate.
It was actually cool. It was infectious, to be honest with you, the way they were talking about each other.
I'm more of an elevator guy, for being honest.
Depends on what floor.
It's not going to get you the six-pack, Ross.
On first down, Prentice in motion. They hand the ball off, and it's a couple of yards up to the 27-yard line. Coleman makes the tackle. Roydell Williams wrapped up. We met with Roydell yesterday, and I have to say he's built like a fire hydrant. He's just strong from top to bottom.
As a former DB, when you say built like a fire hydrant, that just puts fear if I'm back there and he comes shooting through that line and no one touches him.
I would think that it would be fearful. I thought it was that way last week in the second half. He'll take the pass out of the backfield, and he tries to split the defenders, but is stood up at the 35. I think Oots may have missed a block there. Anthony came in. He was the first one to hit him from Ole Miss. All right, so third down, a little less than 5 yards.
Well, and what did Kiffin say to us this week? We have to weather the storm early. I feel like as we close out here towards the end of the first quarter, Ole Miss done a pretty darn good job of weathering that storm, and he'd feel great if they get a third down stop right here.
Game clock is down to 10. Milroe throws out of the backfield as Williams again. He didn't get the third down stop. Well-designed play. Walton makes the catch, or makes the tackle. And Ole Miss on top 7-3, but Alabama moving the football. 4-point game after one quarter. We'll be back for the second right after this.
Back to Tuscaloosa. Coach Saban, your offense is moving the ball well in their opening drive. What do you need to do to get back to that?
Well, you know, we messed up a formation down here, which gave us a bad play on second down. Then we got sacked on third down, so we shot ourselves in the foot. We did the same thing on defense when they made a big play to get down there. We had them 3rd and 10, and quarterback draw is always going to be their play and empty, and we weren't in a very good defense to defend it. So we just got to do a better job to put our kids in a place where they got a chance to be successful.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
You know, it's funny. He did tell us this week, he said, we've had too many one-off situations, too many penalties, too many my bad, and his description of that was awesome. They're going long to the far side. Pass is complete to the far side. That is a big-time play. He'll love that. That's Hale who comes in to make that catch.
What a beautiful play where he comes from. Similar to what we saw from Ole Miss, a guy lining up on one side, taking off all the way across, giving him the time to get there. This is a guy that they're really high on, a young guy who's coming along week in and week out and getting better.
So first down inside the 35-yard line. They hand the ball off to Williams. Williams is hit at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there. That's Kari Coleman who made the tackle, the senior transfer from TCU. They say he flies all over the football field.
Thought it was interesting talking with Tommy Rees, the Bama offensive coordinator. When he talked about Hale, he got really excited.
Yeah.
Jalen Hale, he said he's the next guy. Which is interesting watching Alabama. I talked with an NFL scout this week. They don't really have any skill guys right now that are projected to be top 100 picks, which you don't really expect when you watch the Crimson Tide play, but they seem excited about Jalen Hale's potential.
Yeah, they said they had to get the football in his hand a little bit more. Off the play fake, pressure's coming. Milroe is rolling the pocket to his right, puts his foot in the ground, and dives forward inside the 35-yard line. Cedric Johnson made the tackle. It'll be third down. Now it's a little third down and long here.
Milroe hasn't been hesitant to take off. We saw him against Texas where he would get the ball, he'd sit in the pocket and continue to wait for somebody to get open. Today, he's been decisive. Nothing's there. He's taking off and he's running.
And this part of the field, this could easily be 4-down territory. Wouldn't shock me if they ran it here and then either go for it or at least make the field goal closer.
Dupree, the tight end, is in motion. Behind the line of scrimmage, will set up on him your screen on third down. Third down and long. Milroe has a man open on the outside. He finally finds him. It's McClellan, and McClellan's got a first down, lowers his shoulder, and he's down toward the 20-yard line. DeMarco Williams made the tackle, but he also felt it a little bit too.
Just a really good job by Bama on offense right there. Dupree comes in motion beforehand. That lets Jalen Milroe know, hey, they're playing zone. Right here, he takes a while to find him, but eventually he does. Finds McClellan out in the flat. Nobody is covering him. An easy first down pickup. A bad job right there by the Ole Miss secondary.
Really good sign that Milroe was able to get either to his second or third read to come all the way back to the left side. That's progress.
So first down from the 21-yard line. Four-man front for Ole Miss. Play clock is under 10. Now it's at 5. And Milroe hands it off. They give it to McClellan again. And McClellan pounds his way inside the 15. John Saunders made the tackle for the Rebels.
It is such an advantage when you have a tight end that can block. Watch C.J. Dupree right here go up on the linebacker, Coleman. That is not an easy block to stone a linebacker at the point of attack. They brought in Dupree from Maryland. He's actually from my neck of the woods in eastern Pennsylvania, and he is a pure Y. That's a blocker at the point of attack.
Second down and 2. Quarterback designed run. Milroe has the first down. He's out of bounds inside the 10. Seastrunk made the tackle. Now Alabama's 9 for 9 in the red zone, 6 touchdowns, 3 field goals. So they're in the red zone here. In fact, down to the 7-yard line.
Another opportunity where we see Milroe running to the outside. They don't like to run him in between the tackles. That's not where he is good at. That's not where his instincts take him. Getting the ball on the edge is where he feels he's at his best.
First and goal. They shift McClellan behind Milroe. And now a man in motion. Little shovel pass to Law. And Law going to his right is slowed behind the line of scrimmage. John Saunders slowed him, and then Prince came in to make the tackle.
Right there for Alabama. You're down here, you're in the red zone. They've done a really good job of handing the ball off and running forward with McClellan and with Royale Williams. Right here, they're trying to get the ball on the outside to Wade. A really good job by Prince and his secondary, stringing it out, not allowing it to go north and south.
And Ja'Cory Brooks was the one who was supposed to block Saunders there. He missed the block. That was the key block. It would have put the receiver on the corner.
Second down and goal, and Milroe's going to try to keep it himself. He's grabbed by the ankle and held on. Perkins, the freshman, again. This kid's got some athletic ability. He was a recruit for Alabama as well, and he's able to take him down.
Take a look off the edge here. He goes up. It's a twist. He comes inside. Really good awareness by Perkins. Had 331 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns in the state championship game for Raleigh High School, the highest recruited player for the Rebels. Already made a couple plays here in this game.
So third and goal inside the 10-yard line. Play clock is under 10. Milroe calling out the signals. He's looking to throw, looking to his left, throwing to the left side of the end zone, and it's intercepted. His eyes were looking that way, and Zamari Walton was able to follow it.
Talking to Tommy Reese about Jalen Milroe and being able to read coverages, he struggled a little bit right there on there. When we come back, we got to take another look to see where he should have went to that ball.
Subway.
Got to tell you, that Coleman catch, that was unbelievably athletic by him.
He's done it every game.
Yeah.
The whole year. The Michigan State transfer is just outstanding.
On first down from the 20, Dart rolls the pocket under pressure, breaks away. He pumps, directs traffic, and just goes out of bounds. He'll take a loss on that play, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Right, but he needs to throw the ball away when he gets outside the pocket like that. I mean, in college football, if you're outside the pocket, you can throw the ball away. He just took a 2-yard loss there that he didn't need to take, and that goes down as a sack. I can tell you as a former offensive lineman, that's one where you're like, oh, man, now that we get charged for a sack for that?
Well,
throw
Tim
it away,
Smith,
Jackson.
Tim Smith was happy. He was the first guy there. He'll get credited with the sack.
Loss of 2 on the play. Pressure's coming. They throw it out of the backfield for Watkins, the receiver who was moving all over the place. And he's right back to the line of scrimmage. Malachi Moore, Tim Smith, both there.
Malachi Moore, a guy that plays with a ton of passion and just plays with his emotions on his sleeve, wide open in the open field.
Boy, Dart did take a hit. Broswell came in.
And the guy that's still down is Deontay Lawson, which would be a huge loss for Alabama.
So they'll take care of Lawson. We'll step aside. 8:57 to play, first half.
Yo!
Well, that's good sign that Lawson got up, walked off the field. Now he's got a little bit of a gait going right now. Deontay Lawson, this is where he got hurt.
Well, it was at the real tail end of the play. Watch the left side of your screen. Braswell hits Dart right on to the right ankle and leg of Deontay Lawson right there, and he's been a coach's player of the week in all 3 games this year.
And this is going to be a tough loss because he's the quarterback of the defense. He's the guy that helps get everybody lined up, especially those big guys in front of him. Going into a third down, there's often a lot of communication that comes with it. Let's see how they do without Lawson.
You just saw his replacement, Jihad Campbell. Third down, less than 12. A little less than 12. Under 9 minutes to play, first half.
Got to be very careful here if you're Jackson Dart. He's changing the protection. You do not want to turn it over deep in your own territory.
By the way, pre-scoring is toward the bottom of your screen. The tight end, first game for him. Pressure's coming. He's wrapped up, taken down Tim Smith. Give a little credit to Chris Broswell on that as well.
Well, Smith is really known as being a run stuffer, but watch this rush by Alabama. It's another twist, and Braswell gets the push, and then Smith just keeps hustling and gets him down. Remember, they didn't sack Quinn Ewers once, so really good for Alabama to get that sack there, and if you're Dart, that's 2 sacks.
Flags come in as that punt is let loose. So that looks like it's going to move Ole Miss back.
All-star kicking team. All players were not set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it gives McKinstry maybe a little bit more room. He's already standing inside midfield for this return.
And Ross, you talked about Lane Kiffin, talking about weathering the storm a little bit right now early on in this game.
Student section is breathing on the neck of Mazin. And it's blocked. It's spinning out of bounds inside the 2-yard line. Ja'Cory Brooks got his hand in there. What a massive turn of events here in the first half.
And how about the ball going out of bounds at the 1? Brooks comes from the left side of the right side of the punter, just gets a piece of it. His helmet comes off, came flying in, and Bama makes a big play on special teams. But if that went out the side of the end zone, it's just a safety. It went out right at the 1-yard line to give Bama a golden opportunity at a touchdown here. I would be surprised if this isn't just a run to Jace McClellan or else getting a lead blocker in the running back McClellan for Jalen Milroe.
Well, McClellan is next to Milroe in the backfield on 1st and goal from the 1. High snap, and it's off the hands of Milroe. He'll pick it up and fall to the ground. And again, some of the mistakes that Nick Saban talked about.
The my bads that you talked about, Tom, that's one of them right there. A crucial point in the game. Ross, you just talked about a golden opportunity. And right here, snap is high, goes through Milroe's hands. You can say, hey, quarterback, hold on to it. Or you can say to your center, let's not get a high snap right here in this moment.
And that's not the first bad snap for McLaughlin this year. He's had a couple of them. And here's the thing. Those usually happen short yardage goal line situations because you're so worried about firing off the ball.
Benson in motion in the backfield and then out. Hale going to the end zone on left side. Milroe is going to roll the pocket. He's under pressure. They're going the wrong way, and he's tripped out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Jamon Gordon will be credited with the sack. Joshua Harris was there as well.
Really good 2 plays for Ole Miss. You're sitting on the bench and a punt is blocked as a defense. You go out there and say, all right, guys, we got to hold them to 3. First play, they go backwards. Second play, you're forcing them now into a tough 3rd down.
Wow.
This could be a huge momentum shift for the Ole Miss defense.
And listen, if you're Milroe here, you got to be comfortable with the football.
Absolutely.
You really need to at least get a field goal. It's going to be tough to throw it in the end zone against what looks like zone coverage.
3rd down and goal from the 18-yard line. Milroe, pocket collapses. He's under pressure, taken down. Ladarius Tennyson, the transfer from Auburn.
We told you Ladarius Tennyson was the spy. Watch him in the middle of the field. He's looking. He's right there for Milroe, and he's got the speed to be able to chase him down. LT needs to play like the original LT on some of those plays, and he's 2 for 2 now, spying Milroe.
So 3 plays, minus 22 for Alabama. They have to settle for a field goal attempt. 4-point game. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way, and it is good. A 40-yard field goal attempt. 7-6. Ole Miss lead is to 1. Well, let's take a look at those rankings. It's a big day today. That 7th line, that's tonight on CBS. It's number 7 Penn State getting set to take on number 24 Iowa. Notre Dame tonight as well.
Cannot wait to watch that whiteout. Penn State and Iowa tonight, right after us on CBS. One of the coolest atmospheres in college football, kind of like right here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This is so cool.
Yeah, over 100,000 here today. We said it's the first day of fall, but it's a warm day. Temperatures are in the 80s. And Ole Miss will get the football back, and that's going to go out of bounds. So the flag comes in. It's another mistake for the Crimson Tide.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Cowabunga. It's Turtle time on Paramount Plus. Join the brothers and their new friend April as they fight crime in the new movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Now streaming on Paramount Plus, rated PG.
Can you say cowabunga again?
Cowabunga.
That was awesome.
First down from the 35. Back-to-back 3 and outs for Ole Miss. Up by 1. Off the play fake, Dart dumps it off to Watkins, and Watkins trying to use his athleticism out of bounds. McKinstry on the tackle. Let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, a quick update on Alabama linebacker Deontay Lawson. I watched him walk to the locker room. He's dealing with a lower extremity injury. He's being evaluated. He is questionable to return.
All right, Tiff, thank you very much. That's a tough loss for Alabama. Pre-scoring, lines up as the H-back. They're trying to find him. They do, and he can't handle it. In and out of his hands. Dart said it was his bad on that. It'll be third down.
He has his big target out there in the flat. He's wide open. And he's saying it's bad because that's what a quarterback does. You take the ownership of it. He doesn't put the ball directly on his chest, but that's one where pre-scoring has to hold on to.
All right, so third down and 4. What are you guys thinking here?
Receiver here, Ole Miss has a bunch down the bottom. I'm looking at him as some type of crossing route to get somebody open.
Only one conversion so far. It's still one conversion. Defense was able to cover. It was intended for Franklin.
A lot of contact there, Jason.
They almost covered it by accident. The Bama DBs kind of run into each other as somebody's working past to get there. But the guy that Jackson Dart is looking for is covered up, and he's forced to kind of have an errant pass and not able to find his wide receiver on that one.
All right, so McKinstry is back deep to receive. So 3 straight 3-and-outs. This doesn't happen often for Ole Miss. Talked about their offense. They average nearly 53 points per game. Mazin had one blocked the last time. He gets this one off. He sends McKinstry back, who calls for the fair catch at the 10-yard line. 49-yard punt, 5:03 to play. Alabama down 1. Gets it back when we return.
Back, Ross and Tiffany.
All right, Zook, thank you very much. 225 yards of total offense so far for Oregon. Just 13 for Colorado. Here are the first 4 possessions for Alabama. All right, they've got 2 field goals. They could have had even more, obviously.
You don't often see a negative 22-yard drive with points. I still don't even understand, why are they even snapping out of the gun? I mean, they're on the 1-yard line. That's a pet peeve of mine as a former offensive lineman. Get under center and run a quarterback sneak.
For Alabama, Jam Miller's in for the first time today. One of the running backs from what they said was the great room, the running back room. Pass is complete. That's Brooks.
Let's go back to the interception that Jalen Milroe threw earlier in this game when they had a scoring opportunity. You're going to have a guy here and a guy here. They're going to work a high-low concept in the end zone. For Milroe, right now, you want to read that cornerback, and you want to see where he is. Does he stay high or does he stay low? He stays high. Go to your short receiver and Burton right there. Instead, he tries to find the end zone and is intercepted by Walton.
And not only does Milroe throw, when he throws picks, boy, they really look bad.
Yeah. Second down and 8. He'll keep it himself. He's hitting in the backfield. Nothing's there. He's out of bounds. Ukwu again was able to get to the backfield and shuttle him out of bounds. Zamari Walton was there too.
Nice job by Pegues. I mean, that is a big boy right there. The former Auburn tight end now plays D-line for Ole Miss. To show the athleticism to be able to make Milroe bounce it like that, pretty impressive.
You see the crowd trying to get back into it.
3rd and forever. If you're on defense, you should be alert for a screen or a draw. And again, Milroe needs to protect the football.
3 for 7 on 3rd downs. Pressure's coming. Milroe at the goal line is in trouble. Dumps it off, and he's got his tight end Dupree. And Dupree bounces off one defender, tries to hurdle off another. John Saunders eventually made the tackle. Gain of 22 yards. It's a first down.
Just a really good job by Milroe. He's standing back there, and I'm saying to myself, why not just run the ball, do something safe? You're backed up. Does a great job buying time, rolling out to his right, and give Dupree a really good chance to get open and be able to make the play.
Had the ball off to Miller, and Miller snuffed out immediately behind the line of scrimmage. There were a couple guys. Jared Ivey, Xavier Harris was there as well. It'll be second down. A loss of nearly 8 yards on that play.
Yeah, watch the right side. Ivey just totally avoids the block of McLaughlin. The defensive line for Ole Miss made a couple plays now on this drive.
So officially they say a loss of 6. It'll be second down and 16. 2:45 and counting to play. First half. Along with Jason McCourty, Ross Tucker, Tiffany Blackman, I'm Tom McCarthy. A lot of mistakes for Alabama so far in this first half. In motion is Benson. And Milroe setting up in the pocket. Flags are in. He throws to the left side. Leaping grab made by Nyblack, and Nyblack is out of bounds inside Ole Miss territory. Nope, they're going to say he's out at midfield, but we'll see who the penalty's against. The officials will talk about it at the 33-yard line. Scott Walker, the referee.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, that negates a huge play for Nick Saban's squad.
Alabama just continues to shoot themselves in the foot. You think about it, it was a 2nd and 16 because they lost 6 yards on first down. All right, you come in, you make a really nice completion. Any of those pre-snap penalties absolutely drive Nick Saban berserk because those ones are avoidable. If you do what you're supposed to, line up the way you've practiced all week long, you avoid those type of mistakes.
I mean, that's like a 30-yard penalty right there.
Yeah, after the game, now it's 2nd and 21. Milroe will throw again, middle of the field. He's got Nyblack again. Not the same kind of game, and a timeout is called by Lane Kiffin. Tennyson made the tackle. So 3rd down coming up. We'll take a break. 1:54 to play here in the first half. Back here at Tuscaloosa, coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Adam, Rick, and BJ break down the first half and bring you highlights from this huge day in college football.
Smart time out there by Lane Kiffin. Now 3rd and forever. You'd expect zone coverage, make Alabama throw it underneath, and then Ole Miss use their 2nd timeout.
Tennyson was showing blitz. Now he drops back. The pass goes to the left side of the field, and it's incomplete. And a flag comes in from the back judge in the middle of the field. Dejon Anthony, number 3, was in on the coverage. And it was Bond who was out there, the intended receiver. Talked about Alabama's mistakes. Well, this is going to be a big mistake on Ole Miss.
You're going to see right here, he's in coverage. He has his hand all the way up in the shoulder
Pass
pad.
interference. Defense. Number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I'm a little surprised by the coverage there, Jason. I mean, why is he in man-to-man in a trail position there on that situation?
To your point, you said, hey, just sit back in zone, make them tackle. If you're going to go man-to-man, send pressure at the quarterback. That way your DBs can play off and play man, see the ball thrown, and go up and make the tackle. To play that soft coverage and man would also allow him the time to throw the ball deep. Just a mistake right there by the Ole Miss defense.
So it moves the football to the 35 on first down. Milroe sets up in the pocket, has time, throwing long, middle of the field, and he overthrows his intended receiver. It was Bond. And there were 3 different defenders there.
Every now and then for Milroe, you want to throw one deep down the field, and you want to just back the secondary up. You're going to see right here, he's looking for Bond in the slot, and he has a step on everybody, just throws it a little too far. And Milroe, that's one of his strengths, the deep ball. He throws a pretty one, just not able to be accurate on that one.
Is that a real thing? Like, that really makes a difference for you now as a DB, the fact that they took a shot down the field?
No doubt about it. If you're back there and you're just sitting there waiting and they're throwing the ball short, you start to creep up and creep up and try to make a play.
2nd down. They give it off to McClellan. McClellan to his left, got a couple of yards, kept his feet moving, and dives forward to the 40-yard line.
So this is interesting because neither coach using a timeout right now. I don't think Lane Kiffin has enough confidence in his defense here. I think he wants to make sure his defense gets the stop before he calls another timeout and potentially helps out Alabama if they get the first down.
Yeah, the clock winding down, 1:15 and counting to play first half. 1-point game. Ole Miss up 7-6. Milroe is going down. And he's sacked inside the 30-yard line. We talked about Perkins, the freshman, how good he is. Timeout on the field. It'll be 4th down when we come back in a 1-point game.
This is
It's 4th down for Alabama. They're going to punt the ball away. There's Ferguson hobbling off. Terrence Ferguson. He's kind of the gadget guy on the offensive line for Alabama.
He's the 6th man. I mean, he's basically the next guy up at every position. I think he was in on that last series for Dalcourt at right guard.
Alabama will punt this ball away. It's a nice high punt. And a fair catch is called at the 27-yard line by Watkins. Wednesday night at 7 Eastern, get ready for pure pandemonium on the pitch. The Houston Dynamo take on Inter Miami, who hope to have a healthy Lionel Messi in the U.S. Open Cup final. Catch it on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+. Guys, 1:01 to play here in the first half. We talked so much about Ole Miss and their quick striking offense. Will they utilize that here?
I would expect them to. I mean, they're built for this. They basically run the 2-minute drill all game long. They have an experienced quarterback. They still have one timeout, and we're less than 2 minutes in the half. So the clock will stop on first down.
7 for 12 so far for Dart. From the 27-yard line of Ole Miss, Dart looking to throw. Steps up. He's hit as he throws. Pass is complete to Kieran Heath, his tight end, and Heath gets close to the 40-yard line.
And the clock stops. They got the first down, which is huge. Clock stops till they set the chains.
And they're already up at the line of scrimmage. Judkins in the backfield. Dart, little hitch, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it. Ooh, he lost his hat. Ooh. Wow. We talked about it in the open. Mom would like him to slide. Dad says he's a football player, and he's going to have to leave again.
Jason, he did this last week. Oh, my goodness. And I wonder if they'll take a look. Watch Campbell. Is this the top of Campbell's head?
Looks like it hits more of the shoulder pad, though, than Dart's helmet. There's a better angle right here. Seems like it hits all that right side of Dart's shoulder pad as he's going to make the tackle. But for Dart, I love the competitiveness. But slide, as an offensive lineman, Ross, as a former O-lineman, do you get fired up when you see your quarterback out there playing like that?
Well, let's talk to Gene about this. What do you see here, Gene?
I think it's a good no call for a target with the crown of the helmet. He does dip, but I still think he hits with a little bit of that forehead area of the helmet. We see it just lower there, but it's not a full, to me, that 6-inch radius and then delivering a blow with it. I think it's a good no call for targeting.
I agree with Gene, and that would be real bad if it was targeting, because Campbell is the guy in for loss.
Third and final timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff.
All right, so Ole Miss will use the third and final timeout. They'll avoid the runoff. So 40 seconds left. All right, so Gene, they used the last timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Dart's put his helmet back on for Ole Miss.
Yeah, exactly, Tommy. And that was the discussion that Scott Walker was having with Coach Saban, letting him know that there's a potential for a 10-second runoff in that situation with a helmet coming off of a player inside of 1 minute. And they adjudicated that properly as well.
All right, Gene, thank you. We appreciate that.
And to go all the way back, Jason, to what you were saying about the way Dart plays as an offensive lineman, you love the competitiveness, but you want him to be there the whole season. I mean, he's not going to make it through the entire SEC season with some of the shots that he has taken in these last couple games.
Well, he's back out there, 8 of 13, 105. Now, they're out of timeouts, but don't forget, they have one of the best place kickers in college football in Caden Davis. We saw him kicking. We think he can make a 60-yarder. They throw it to the outside. Pass is complete to Watkins, who's out of bounds. So the market close to the 46-yard line. In some ways, they're in field goal range or close to it already.
And a great point, Tom, about the no timeouts. We're going to see them trying to work the ball to the sidelines to stop the clock.
See the target line. We were watching him kicking warm-ups, and he was drilling them. They throw it to Judkins out of the backfield, and he's out of bounds. There's a flag, though, at the Alabama logo near midfield. 30 seconds left here in the first half.
Big penalty either way.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 41. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, if they weren't in field goal range, they are far into field goal range.
Well, now it changes the dynamic a little bit, right? Now they can try to get in the end zone and take some shots here. Let's take another look at this. The Alabama crowd does not like it. The left hand for Braswell hits the face mask and knocks Dart back. They're going to call that. If it's even a little bit forceful, they're going to call that. And you can see Dart's helmet go back, and especially after the collision he just took, they're going to protect the quarterback when he takes a shot to the head like that.
Yeah, that's Braswell. So it's first down from inside the 22-yard line. 30 seconds left to play, first half.
If they don't get a first down here and it's inside the field of play, they got to get up on the ball immediately and spike it.
Play clock is under 5. They don't have any timeouts left. Dart takes the snap, lofts it toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Franklin, playing in his first game with Ole Miss. There's Caden Davis. So during warm-ups, we watched him try a 67-yarder, and he was probably 5 yards shy on that. This end of the field, too.
That's such a weapon to have. That then with that penalty by Alabama, they continue to hurt themselves with roughing the pass and continue to give these opportunities to Ole Miss.
Alabama should be playing outside leverage, right? Jason, make them complete it inside the field?
Yes, you just don't want to give up the touchdown. So the main thing is covering, because you've made the point. They're close enough to take those shots at the end zone.
Play clock down to 5. A little extra shifting by Ole Miss. Dart to the outside. Pass is complete. He finds Watkins, who walks out of bounds at the 17. So it's 3rd down. And again, Caden Davis waiting on the sidelines.
And at this point, for Alabama on defense, you're just trying to protect the field goal. You don't want to give up a touchdown at this point. There's only 21 seconds left.
Offensively, you got to get the first down or out of bounds. You cannot take a sack. They can't spike it after that.
Trey Harris is in on the far side. They go to him toward the pylon, and it's incomplete. One-on-one coverage broken up. That was Arnold's.
Arnold has been fun to watch this year. Kool-Aid McKinstry gets all the love on the other side, but this guy's feisty. He competes. And the one thing when we talked to Kevin Steele about him, he said he's the Energizer Bunny. He has a personality that matches a Deion Sanders. He loves to go out there and compete and gets everybody in the secondary and the defense fired up.
All right, so this will be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Caden Davis. 2 for 3 last week on field goals. From the far hash, good snap, good hold. He drills it to his left. It is no good. Wow. I mean, that had velocity on it, but he went to the left. 13 seconds left. Little different style than what we were seeing him kick from long distance.
It didn't look right.
No.
It came off. Watch this come off his foot. That was like a knuckleball. I mean, that's not what it's supposed to look like for a field goal as good as he is, field goal kicker as good as he is. That just didn't come off right.
I blame Tom McCarthy. He talked about how well he looked in warm-ups, this, that, and the third, and laces were out, the hole was good, just doesn't connect well.
I'll take it, because I was really impressed during warm-ups. Now, there was nobody running after him on warm-ups. That was my kind of kicking.
Alabama's just going to take a knee here and regroup at halftime.
Yeah, 13 seconds left to play here in the first half. Ole Miss on top by 1. Milroe will just take a knee, and that will wrap up the first half here in Tuscaloosa. Well, each team has made their share of mistakes, and that's why it's a 1-point game, and it's still in the balance as we go into the locker room.
Probably lower scoring than I think a lot of people expected.
I would agree.
Especially with the way the teams are moving the ball early.
Yep.
Yeah, both teams look like they're trying to give the game away. No one's taking advantage.
Let's check in with Tiffany.
Coach Saban, you're trailing by 1 point. You talked about trying to eliminate some of those costly mistakes. What can you say to your guys to get them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, for all the mistakes that we made, and, we're fortunate to be 7-6, so we got to get things straightened out here at halftime and hopefully play a little bit better and not shoot ourselves in the foot so much.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, 9 negative plays. That's the end of the first half. It's Ole Miss 7, Alabama 6. We now send you to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for the Geico halftime. Tuscaloosa as we get set for the start of the third quarter. Ole Miss is on top by 7-6. Hello, Jason McCourty and Ross Tucker, Tiffany Blackman. I'm Tom McCarthy. All right, Ross, give me an idea of what Alabama's looking at.
Well, they're right there, obviously, to be able to win the game, but they don't look like Alabama. The unforced errors, the mistakes, really more of the same from what we saw the first 3 games. They're going to have to clean that up to win this game.
Meanwhile, Ole Miss, they're not averaging the amount of yards per play that they usually do.
But they're winning this game, and this isn't unfamiliar territory. They were up last year against Alabama. It means nothing. One half of football. They have to finish it. This is their opportunity.
All right, Alabama will get the football as we get set to begin the second half here in Tuscaloosa. 1-point game. And this will go out of the back of the end zone. Let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey, guys, I spoke with Coach Lane Kiffin about his quarterback, Jackson Dart, and how he was feeling after taking a couple shots. Kiffin told me he's doing good. He did say they have to do a better job of protecting him and a better job around him offensively. And, guys, you were just talking about this Alabama team not looking the same. Well, Kiffin said they are going to come alive in this half.
Yeah, I think he has to think that coming into the second half. And we'll see if it happens right here. He talked about stemming the tide in the first half. He may feel the same way here in the second half.
Well, and good news for them at right guard, where the starter, Darian Dalcourt, is back out there. At one point, they had Jaden Roberts out there, the third string right guard.
On first down for the 25 off the play fake. Milroe rolls the pocket. He has time, and he's just going to throw it away. Pressure was coming. Let's take a look at the first half game trends, guys. I mean, Dart, 11 of 18, 125 yards. That's less than he usually is. Jalen Milroe, 11 for 14, 93 yards. And a big interception, too. And then the miscues. 10 negative plays, 4 sacks, and the red zone interception.
It's amazing that all of those things, 10 negative plays, interception in the red zone, they're only down 1 point.
Right.
That's it.
Facing a second down and 10 from the 25. They stack 2 receivers to the top. Milroe off the play fake again. Sets up in the pocket. Throws long. Looking middle of the field. And he has a man. What a catch! Jermaine Burton deep inside Ole Miss territory. That'll jolt 100,000.
Young receivers, look at this. Watch the way he locates the ball. He's looking to his left, comes back over to his right. That is not an easy catch. They say he's the go-to guy. Whenever he has an opportunity, they want to go to him. Milroe, give him credit, stays in the pocket, takes a hit, still completes the ball deep down the field.
54 yards. It's first down from just outside the 20-yard line. High snap again. They hand it off to McClellan. McClellan gets to the edge, inside the 10, into the end zone. There is a flag, however, outside the 10-yard line. I think they're going to get Burton for holding.
They're going to get Burton for holding downfield right after the big play he just made.
Holding. Offense. Number 3. 10-yard penalty for the small foul. First down.
Top of your screen, watch his hands outside. His right hand's outside. He's tugging it. He released too late. You know, when you're on the perimeter like that, especially as a receiver, they're going to see that tugging and that restriction. You have to be especially careful with your hands when you're out in space like that.
Well, it erases a 21-yard touchdown run.
I still can't believe he made that catch.
It was unbelievable.
Milroe threw it over the wrong shoulder, right? I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's the 5th negated touchdown because of a penalty for Alabama. On first down, they hand it off to Williams right up the middle, lowers his shoulder. Down to the 16-yard line, a gain of 4. So last 2 games, penalties have really taken away touchdowns.
Well, they had against Texas. Darian Dalcourt was downfield, didn't need to be, and that was a huge penalty in that game. And then the hold on the kickoff return against USF, which was just a blatant hold last week.
Second down at 5. Low snap. They give it to Williams. Williams over the block of his right guard, and he powers his way down to the first down marker to the 11. And he took over in the second half last week against South Florida.
And I like those first couple runs by Alabama. They are coming right at the Rebels right now, trying to run it right down their throat.
And a quarterback keeper. They usually go over the left guard on this one, and they scramble over the left guard in the center at a first down to the 10-yard line.
Quarterback keeper there. We saw in the first half they got a chance after a block punt to get the ball on the 1-yard line, and they were in the shotgun. 3rd and 1 right there. They allow Milroe to just get under center. He's a big, strong athlete and just push his way to the first down.
You read my mind, Jay. And here's the thing. McLaughlin's had a couple more questionable snaps here. I would not be surprised if there's another snap here in the second half, which affects this game.
By the way, Danny Lewis checks in for the first time on the left side of the offensive line next to Oots, the tight end. They give the ball off to McClellan, and McClellan down close to the 6-yard line. A gain of 4. Saunders makes the tackle for Ole Miss.
That's 4 plays in a row where they are just going right down the hash mark, right at the Ole Miss defense.
Well, they mark it down to the 6-yard line.
Ugly red zone numbers. for the Crimson Tide. 4 possessions in the red zone, 0 touchdowns.
So it's third down. The ball spotted at the 6-yard line. McClellan coming in motion out of the backfield. Milroe looking to throw, dancing in the pocket, pumps once. He's going to keep it himself. And he tries to get down to the 5-yard line. And they'll spot it after a gain of 1. Saunders tackles, Perkins missed.
Good decision by Milroe right there. He's looking to the left side, trying to find somebody open, sees nobody, decides to just tuck the ball, is not able to get into the end zone. But Ross, you just talked about the red zone. 3 points is better than no points. He threw an interception another time they were down there, so making sure they secure the points.
And he's up slow, too, and there's some booing going on here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This will be a 23-yard field goal attempt.
But you have to kick the field goal here.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to take the lead. It's not even debatable.
Just inside the near hash mark. Reichard, good snap, good hole. Kick is on its way, and it is good. And Alabama takes the lead, 9-7, with 11:11 to play here in the third quarter. It's a 2-point game. Alabama's on top by 2, 9-7. So this is the play on third down where Alabama gets the first down. The Milroe quarterback keeper. So they spot it at the 10-yard line. So they move the chains. The official puts up 2. So he's signaling that it's second down at that point.
Yeah.
And the stick's still second down.
So they lost it down, and there was a lack of communication, and that's why Milroe on that quarterback keeper, he thought it was only second down.
Yeah. That's why he got up after and was showing the 3.
Well, there's another one out of the
Free kick out of bounds.
Yeah.
Kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Milroe thought it was third, after that run, and it was actually 4th. I just don't think the official communicated properly on the sidelines.
Milroe thought it was third because it was third down. It was just called fourth down.
Correct.
And that was the confusion that was going on because essentially they lost a down by the chain measures and the referee holding up the 2.
Wow.
I'm surprised nobody on the Bama sideline caught that.
It was after the play that Nick Saban was talking to the officials after the field goal. Malachi Moore with the tackle after a gain of 1. It's second down and 9. This is after the field goal, and Nick's talking to the officials about it. He's talking to Scott Walker, the referee.
And he says nobody signaled first down.
Nobody signaled. It'll be second down. Judkins over the 40 to the 41. Boygby made the tackle. It'll be third down. And now you got to regroup. Obviously, you got the lead. You're up by 2.
Third down here. I wonder if Alabama's going to bring pressure on Dart.
He's only converted 1 third down so far today. He'll roll the pocket, throws on the run, pass is complete, and a first down for Watkins.
Alabama comes with some pressure, but Dart getting outside the pocket, rolling to his right, allows him to hit his slot receiver. You're going to see the backers come up with some pressure, but that gives him the space in the room to be able to complete this pass on the outside.
Well, he was close.
Yeah, that was very close to the sticks, too.
Yeah, they hand the ball off to Judkins, and Judkins running left. And he gets up to the 49-yard line. Caleb Downs makes the tackle. Time now for our Invesco Scholar Athletes. Invesco brings you today's Scholar Athletes. They are Ole Miss defensive end Isaac Ukwu and Alabama offensive lineman Seth McLaughlin. Invesco's proudest sports student athletes on and off the field with a donation of $1,000 to both Ole Miss's and Alabama's general scholarship funds. Second down at 6. Off the play fake. Dart steps up in the pocket, looking long toward the middle of the field, and it's intercepted. Arnold's brings it back across the 30. Beautiful spin move across the 35. And he's up to the 42 before Franklin makes the tackle.
You hear this crowd going wild. That was the spark that they all needed, and that was the spark that this Alabama defense needed. Arnold comes away with the interception, but it could have been Downs as well. They have Wade double covered down the field. Downs is below, Arnold's on top of it. Really good defense by this Alabama secondary.
Alabama with the lead in the ball when we get back. Two Blackhawk helicopters, one Apache. Special shout out to one of the pilots, CW3 Brendan Enns, whose daughter Daisy is a sophomore here at Alabama, as Alabama just forced the turnover and will get the ball back up to 9-7. We think we've gotten to the bottom of what happened on the last drive. We're going to talk to Gene Steratore in just a moment. On first down for the 41, he did a little investigative reporting, and Williams has stood up. All right, Gene, I know you went back and looked at all of it, and we appreciate it. Give us an idea of what happened on that last drive.
We did. I did, Tommy. And when it was 2nd down and 16, the 5-yard gain from Alabama at the 11-yard line was really a first down. The down box indicators moving near that stake, showing third. It was actually first.
First down pass play out of bounds is Law.
And that is what upset Coach Saban naturally, because he thought he had 3rd and inches when he ran the quarterback sneak, and it was really a first down and 10 from the 11 when they ran the sneak. So they missed that down there as far as just a communication as to what down that was.
On first down, they run it again, and Williams hurdles his way to the 44-yard line. Gene, thank you for that explanation. We appreciate that. So it was a communication error.
Well, so they didn't lose a down, but they still kind of did, because they ran a quarterback sneak on first down, because we all thought over here, at least, that it was 3rd and short.
Because we were looking at the box, and it still said 3rd down.
And you saw Jason Saban say nobody signaled first down.
Well, Alabama did get it back again, up by 2, and they're moving the football. They're inside Ole Miss's ends. Hale is at the top of the slot for Alabama. Milroe hands the ball off again. Williams, he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Monty Montgomery.
That's a 2nd or 3rd time now. Montgomery, watch coming right in your living room here. Looked to me like he was unblocked. Should probably be the tackle tight end combination there. Again, that is a mental error by somebody, Jason. I can assure you, you don't leave the play side linebacker unblocked at the point of attack.
3rd down and 5. They're 5 of 10 on 3rd downs. That hasn't really been an issue. Just getting into the end zone. Milroe, pass is complete. Bond. And Bond on the left sideline. Young made the tackle. A gain of 10 yards. All right, let's cue the duck. Let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac trivia question. This is a tough one. Which two teams beat Alabama the last time they lost consecutive home games?
Well, it's a long, long time ago, whoever it is.
Clock winds under 7 minutes to play. It'll be 1st and 10 for the 33. Milroe, he's hit as he throws toward the end zone. Has a man. Hale, leaping grab. He's got it. Touchdown, Alabama.
Close to the back of the end zone. Milroe was down on the play. Looks like he took a hit after throwing that one up in the air. Finds the freshman Hale in the back of the end zone on a big play deep down the field. We're going to have to make sure he hold on to this, and let's see where his feet are.
One
foot's down.
Yep. He's got it.
He's got that thing. Doesn't let it loose. That's a big-time catch from the freshman as Jalen Milroe jumps up, realizes the throw that he just made, and he is fired up, and so is the Alabama sideline.
That was a beautiful throw. Obviously, he knew he was getting hit. And Tommy Rees said, we've got to get Hale more involved, and they certainly did on that pass play.
I mean, the guts that Milroe had to make that throw. Watch this. Imagine stepping into that, and you get hit right in the midsection and planted by the freshman Perkins again.
All right, they're going to go for 2 here.
That is interesting to me. I would kick the extra point to go up by 9. to make it a 2-score game.
And Milroe's not in.
No, he's not in. He's off the field. And it's bobbled. The snap is bobbled. The Ty Simpson will run it in. There is a flag down, however, inside the 1. Well, we know that all 3 quarterbacks have gotten some work recently. And let's see who it's against.
Simpson might have got his face mask grabbed on that one.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Boy, it worked out for Alabama, but I can't say I understand why they would go for 2 there when an extra point already makes it a 9-point 2-score game.
Well, Hale, the freshman, reeled it in. And then Nick Saban decided to add to it with Simpson running it in. Alabama's taking a 10-point lead, 17-7 with 6:29 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Alabama fans have woken up a little bit. Milroe took a big hit, Tiffany. How's he looking on the sidelines?
Yeah, Tom, you know, before he threw that touchdown pass on the previous drive, I watched him run into the tent and quickly come out. He got the wind knocked out of him. So for him to come back out and stand in there, take that shot in the pocket and throw the touchdown, just shows you how bad he wants to win this for his team.
And Tiffany, you know this too, because we were in the meetings together. You know, they talked about, his teammates talked about his, how good of a teammate he is. And when Simpson got the 2-point conversion, certainly showed the celebration. 17-7 Alabama. Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Tom, it's a Jeep update. They're hitting hard there. They're talking hard. In Eugene, Dan Lanning said Colorado's Cinderella story was coming to an end, and his quarterback is playing his part. Bo Nix, he's rushed for 1, thrown for 3, 35-0 at halftime when Dan Lanning said they're not satisfied. That's our score, 3rd quarter. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you for that Jeep update from New York. Boy, a lot of action these last couple of plays.
I mean, how about the hit by Jam Miller, a running back on the kickoff team? Jam bringing the juice.
The previous play is under further review for potential targeting.
All right, so they will take a look at this to see if there's potential targeting.
Not a defenseless player, so this would have to be a crown of the helmet situation. Forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. Let's see it. Yeah, I think he's in trouble there. Yeah. The crown of the helmet's directly on top of your helmet, 6 inches in every direction. He ducks his head. Yeah, I think he's got a major problem there.
All right, let's check with Gene Steratore. Gene, are you agreeing with Ross on that one?
Yeah, it's a really good explanation by Ross right there, and I think he's right on it. You can see Jam Miller just lower that head and then deliver the blow with what appears to be, in my opinion as well, that crown and that 6-inch radius. And as you watch that contact, fellas, you can see that the person really, as far as safety is concerned on a hit like that, is more Jam Miller than it is the runner, you know, because of the compression of that technique and that posture. And that's why we want to get that type of that posture out of the game because of the safety issues, truthfully, in this play for the defensive player.
Gene, you're absolutely right on that one. For that guy making the tackle, we've seen players before at every level make a hit like that, and it alters their life for the remainder. So we've got to have that and take that out of the game. Jam Miller, a running back, a guy that's not as accustomed to making tackles.
Terrific point. That's an offensive player that doesn't make very many tackles. As defensive players, you're always taught, see what you hit.
Yes.
Always have your neck bold, and so your eyes are on what you're seeing.
After review, personal foul, targeting with the crown of the helmet, kicking team number 26. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down. Number 26 has been disqualified.
All right, so Jam Miller will head to the locker room. And a little breathing room for Ole Miss as they move the football to the 24.
It's a big penalty. I mean, you look at the stats and the difference between having the ball at the 9 versus the 24-yard line. Much better chance for Ole Miss to get points.
So the ball out to the 25-yard line, just shy of the 25 on first down. Off the play fake, they'll throw to Watkins. Watkins, nothing there. Franklin was there to try to block, but Caleb Downs just peeled right past him.
Caleb Downs, one heck of a play by the young guy. We talked to defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. He said, every maybe once in 40 years, you get a freshman that comes in, and right away he plays just like a junior. That's how he described Downs.
On second down, they'll throw again, this time to the near side. Pass is complete. Wade breaks a tackle inside Alabama's own ends. And down to the 44.
Really good play right there by Wade. Dart gets the ball out on the sideline. And you have guys that you say, hey, run after catch. Once the ball hits their hands, they can make a guy miss and turn it into a big play.
31 yards. They quickly get up to the line of scrimmage. They get off to Judkins. And Judkins just gets a couple. They kind of have to get him going a little bit, I think. So second down. Dart hands it off one more time. And Judkins gets inside the 40, down to the 39. Keenan makes the tackle. It'll be third down. And again, they've been stumbling somewhat offensively until that last pass play.
And this would be interesting if they don't get it here, whether or not Kiffin would go for it on fourth. Again, this could very easily, especially with them missing the last kick, be four-down territory.
Quarterback keeper, Dart. He's got the first down, and he slid that time. He was wrapped up as he was going down to the 34. All right, so let's get back to our Aflac trivia question. The last time Alabama lost back-to-back home games, LSU and Louisiana Monroe back in 2007.
I remember that. ULM.
Held Alabama to 14 points in that game. First down for the 34. And again, they hand it off. And Judkins, he's getting a couple of yards a carry here. It almost looks like they're trying to get him more involved.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of Ulysses Bentley. Jason and I watching the tape last week at Georgia Tech, number 24, who's in the game now on this play. He's got some real wheels and burst, and he's excellent without the ball, whether he's blocking or catching passes.
They thought about shuttling it to him. They're just going to throw it over his head, and the flag comes in as Dart is taken down.
Well, that was a blatant hold by the right guard, Jeremy James.
Offense. It was 7-8. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, they pulled the right guard. That's Jeremy James right there, 78. He hooks Dallas Turner and then takes him down. And that's about as blatant as it gets. But I'll also say this. You're putting him in a really bad spot there. I mean, a pulling right guard with that much space in either direction going against Dallas Turner, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what just happened.
So now it's second down and long. Ole Miss has to get to the 24 for first down. Dart steps up. Not much is open. He'll keep it himself. Inside the 30. Spinning move. A flag is in. He's down to the 19. I think that's going to be Heath, the tight end, who's going to be called for a hold.
There's no question. We just talked about it. When you're in space, you got to be careful. This is blatant again.
Hold. Offense. 188. 10-yard penalty for the start of the foul. Second down.
I mean, Jason, there are holds, and then there are holds. Ole Miss is leaving no doubt.
And Malachi Moore does a good job of going along with it. A little bit of NBA as soon as he felt one little finger on him. A little bit of an acting job, a little bit of a flop on that one.
Like you never did that before.
Hey, Tom, we're not talking about me today.
So second down at 18. This crowd's gotten into it. Dart, pressure's coming. Dumps it off on the outside to Watkins. And Watkins is thrown out of bounds. The Ole Miss sideline, I think, wanted a flag.
You usually get that when it's on your own sideline. because the whole sideline goes crazy. Let's take a look at it. He's still in bounds.
That's Jahan Campbell.
I think I'm okay with the no call there. It wasn't as bad as it looked at first glance.
8th play of the drive. Aiden Williams, who hasn't played a whole lot today, is spread out to the far side. They hand it off on 3rd down. And Judkins, this is what you alluded to before, Ross. I mean, what do you guys think here?
Well, they're down 2 scores. Normally, I feel like they would kick a field goal here, but it's 4th and short. When it's this close, I expect them to go for it, and I would think quarterback run to get the extra blocker in the formation.
No doubt about it. And I think they made that decision on 3rd down when they decided to hand it off to Judkins, knowing, hey, if 4th down comes up, as long as we get it close, to your point, Jackson Dart, let him run it.
Eli Eckers, the extra lineman, it's in. Ooh, they shovel it off to Bentley. And Bentley is out of bounds. He's got the 1st down.
Love that play design right there. Having the rest of the offensive line get up there fast and late. Bama was thinking quarterback sneak. So with everybody in the middle, Dart just flips it out to Bentley, who's got some real wheels, and he's able to get to the corner. Nice call by Kiffin.
So Bentley stays in. On 1st down, Dart pumps once to his right. He's just going to throw that away. It was well covered on the outside. Dallas Turner.
What did Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, say about Dallas Turner? Really high football IQ, terrific skill set. For an edge rusher to be able to get out there and cover like that?
Football IQ is the main point in that, because Bentley's coming across the formation, hoping to get man-to-man from a backer and lose him and all of the mess. But a great job right there.
Empty backfield for a moment. They fake the handoff to Judkins. Tight side of the field. And Dart slides down. They'll mark him at the 18-yard line.
Well, Dart's gotten the memo about sliding. And I would imagine that second hit he took was about all he needed to get the memo. Brings up another 3rd down here for Ole Miss.
Well, this will be the 12th play of the drive. They haven't had one of more than 10 yards since early in the 2nd quarter of the Tulane game. On 3rd down, Dart, middle of the field, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted by McKinstry.
Mama, there goes that man. Kool-Aid McKinstry matched up one-on-one on the outside. He's mad at himself because this one hit both of his hands. He'd like to have this one back and be able to come away with the interception. Got his nickname Kool-Aid because he was born with a smile. Not about the amount of Kool-Aid. I kind of wondered, was he a Kool-Aid Jammers type of guy, or did he actually have the powder and make it himself?
I mean, he ran that route for him. That was very impressive.
36-yard field goal attempt. Again, Davis has missed a 34-yarder. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way, and this time he got the height, and he got it through. 7-point game. Clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back.
Chipotle
statue and Big Al were representing with their own Survivor buffs. There you go. Well, it's a 7-point game as Ole Miss will kick it off.
This is typically over the years. You get late 3rd quarter, 4th quarter where Alabama's offensive line just starts to kind of lean on you when they have a lead and take over. We'll see if this year's group is up to the task. I used to joke a couple years, Jason, Alabama's offensive line was so good, I used to say they should be the ones that win the Heisman. I mean, a couple of the years where some of these other guys have done it, it's really been the Alabama offensive line. This year's group, though, has not performed nearly to that level.
Just so you know, your campaigning really didn't help, but it was a good idea. Ball's in the back of the end zone. Stay in the know with CBS Sports HQ, a 24/7 free network that brings you the latest news, picks, scores, and highlights from all the sports you love. Watch CBS Sports HQ anywhere, anytime, all the time. Along with Ross Tucker, Jason McCourty, Tiffany Blackman, Gene Steratore, I'm Tom McCarthy. You see the second half possessions for Alabama.
Much better.
Yes. It's kind of what Nick Saban talked to Tiffany about when he went into the locker room.
And who knows what would have happened in that first drive if they didn't quarterback sneak on a first down because they didn't know what the situation was.
34 seconds left to play here in the third quarter.
I would run here so you take it to the end of the quarter.
Dupree, the tight end in motion, and they do. Breaking the tackle is McClellan, and McClellan's up across the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Alabama doesn't need to call a play here. Sometimes people like to act like they're going to run a play and try to get a free 5 yards, but they also have plenty of time to run a play if they want to. Doesn't look like they're going to.
Milroe just saying hold it, and they do. To the end of the third quarter, it's Alabama 17, Ole Miss 10. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Welcome back. Coach Kiffin, you told me this Alabama team would come alive in this half. How can you all limit some of their big plays?
Well, we started the third quarter obviously really poorly. We were moving, we took our shot, and they picked it off, and they took their shot and hit the big play. So that's really the tale there. We battled back there and stole 3. So we got to stop them now. They're going to try to run the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
And Tiffany, you saw those last possessions for Ole Miss. They've gotten basically a field goal, but nothing else. Those last 6 possessions. On first down for the 38, they give it back to McClellan, who's been busy on this drive up to the 40 in this quarter. Or in the second half, excuse me. And don't forget, later in the game, it's the play of the game, presented by Jersey Mike's Subs.
Ole Miss just finished up a 14-play drive, so that was a really good response to Alabama. They've scored twice, a field goal and a touchdown in this half, but putting together a long drive like that, they can get off the field here, gives them a huge opportunity to take back momentum.
They go back to McClellan, and McClellan running hard up the middle. He's got a first down to the 49. Saunders with the tackle. Gain of 9.
Well, the big guys are getting it done now. Watch the center and the right guard. This double team up to the linebacker. They are starting to move these men up front. They slant, take them out, and then McLaughlin does a nice job getting up on the linebacker at the second level. If your defensive lineman slants, take them that way. You don't try to force them the other way. If they're going in that direction, just ride them that way.
You saw McClellan's numbers. He stays in the ball game off the play fake to him. Milroe has time, middle of the field, pass is complete. It's Oots, the tight end. And Oots goes down close to the 30-yard line. Seastrunk made the tackle for Ole Miss.
Milroe getting outside of the pocket. You're going to see Perkins for Ole Miss come across behind Oots and not thinking that he's going to be able to make the play. That's a guy who's usually rushing after the passer with his hand in the dirt, dropping in coverage right there, just misplaying the ball.
That's a gain of 21 yards. And they'll give it back to McClellan. McClellan gets to the edge. A burst inside the 25. He cuts to his right and gets inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line.
Every guy man on man. Sistrunk, the linebacker, tried to run through. If you run through as a linebacker and you don't make the play in the backfield, then there's nobody there to come over the top. Really good man on man blocking by Alabama across the board. They're starting to wear down the Rebels.
84 yards last year against Ole Miss. He's got 73 here this afternoon. It's first and goal. Alabama changed the play. Play clock down to 2. And they go back to McClellan. McClellan assessing. Breaks one tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
It's just a counter play. Wasn't even blocked that great. McClellan able to break a tackle in the backfield, but old school Alabama football. That's more like it for the Crimson Tide and the big guys up front.
And they'll go for the extra point. Reichard from the middle of the field, and it's good. 24-10, Alabama's on top. Well, we said it's a two-headed monster, and one part of the head of the monster is into the end zone for the Crimson Tide. Recap. 24-10, Alabama's on top. That's the big one. Milroe, 222 yards. He has the one interception. But how about how Alabama's been able to run the football here in the second half?
Lane Kiffin said it before that drive. Hey, they're going to come out here and they're going to try to run the ball. That's one thing later in the game in the fourth quarter. When the defense knows they're going to run, the offense knows they're going to run, someone has to impose their will. That right there was Alabama offensive line.
Well, Alabama has 3 offensive linemen that are 350 pounds or heavier. That's probably the biggest offensive line in all of football. I can't think of an NFL team off the top of my head that has 3 guys 350 or more, and they started to impose their will on that drive. Like you said, Jason, just like Lane Kiffin knew it. I mean, he said that's what they're going to do, and they're able to do it. But don't discount a couple of those throws from Milroe, including the one to Oops. Just enough in the passing game to keep them honest.
Alabama will kick this one off. And Bentley will try to return it. Bentley brings it out.
Ooh.
And he loses the football. It's picked up by Ole Miss. Seastrunk was able to pick it up, thankfully, for the Rebels.
Another big hit. Looks like it was Justin Jefferson, and really, he primarily just got the football. What a play by the backup linebacker, Justin Jefferson, to just rip that ball out, and that could have been real bad for the Rebels.
12:01 to play here in the fourth quarter. And Ole Miss down 14. They'll run it to start things off. And it is Judkins, and Judkins breaks a tackle and keeps his feet moving for a first down, a gain of 11. Campbell made the tackle. It looked like Malachi Moore had him at one point.
Watch the lower body power. Rips through Braswell. Then 2 other Alabama.
Turner had a piece of it. Damon Payne had a piece of it. They just closed up that little hole.
It looked like confusion in the backfield right there. They didn't know whether he wanted to hand it off and just follow behind the back.
You agree, guys, that they have to get some passes going here?
Yeah, it comes down to Jackson Dart. They need to have him make plays on this drive to get them going.
Trey Harris in the game. Harris on the near sideline. And they try to go to Judkins, who couldn't make the circus grab. It's third down.
Another D tackle getting pressure for Alabama. Watch 96 Keenan, the nose tackle. He's not really known for his pressure, but he's able to avoid the center, and that's poor. Because the center and left guard are working together there. They all have their back gap. He essentially split a double team there, and it brings up 3rd and long for the Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels have to get to the 38-yard line. Dart, pressure's coming. He's trying to avoid it. Flags come in, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Dallas Turner chased him down.
Ole Miss held in the backfield, and Alabama still, I think, was able to get the first down.
Holding. Offense, number 57. That penalty is a con. Holding. Offense, number 67. That penalty is a con. Fourth down.
Top of your screen, the dip at the top, and then McGee kind of takes somebody down too. There was a couple, and then look at the hustle by Dallas Turner. 2 holds on the same play, and Turner still able to get the sack for Alabama.
That's 3 sacks for the Crimson Tide. And Mazin will punt it away. McKinstry back deep to receive. No real pressure at all. McKinstry to the far side of the field will let it bounce. And he just gets away. Talked a lot about the Alabama offense, but the Alabama defense has stepped it up here in the second half. It's a 14-point game.
On a hard.
Alabama's on top with the football, 24-10. Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS slate features an AFC East rivalry between the Patriots and the Jets, and the Broncos face off against the Dolphins. We'll get you set for kickoff beginning at noon Eastern with JB and the guys on the NFL Today. That's all coming up tomorrow on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
You know, you would expect Alabama to continue to run the ball. I will say this, though. The best play to pass it would be right here on first down with Ole Miss all geared up, expecting a run.
On first down, McClellan is next to Milroe. He'll get it. He sheds a tackler, at least the first time. A flag comes in as he tries to hurdle for an extra yard or two. Prince credited with the tackle, but will be holding against Alabama.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Dalcourt, who was the starting center a couple of years ago.
And that changes the dynamic a little bit, right? Because you're trying to run as much clock as you can, up 2 touchdowns. You want to keep that thing on the ground, keep it moving. I know there's still more than 10 minutes to play, but now they're going to have to get some chunk plays here somehow to get the first down.
First down and 20 from the 19-yard line of Alabama. Alabama scored on the last 3 possessions, a field goal and 2 touchdowns. They give it to McClellan. McClellan's hit the backfield, and that slowed him up enough for Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste to make the tackle.
Second and long here, I would expect them to maybe come with a screen or a draw, something easy to make sure you complete it. If it is a pass, you go to the screen, get it in your running back's hands, maybe in space to pick up and try to cut it down to get to a third and manageable.
You know, we talk about yards per play for Ole Miss. We talked about that in the open, but how about what Alabama's done in the second half? Kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine.
Well, we said at halftime we're about to see whether or not Bama can eliminate some of these mistakes and get back to looking like Alabama, and I would say so far so good.
Yeah, defensively and offensively. Yep. Second down at 19. Trips to the near side. Dupree in motion. Milroe will keep it himself. He hurdles over a defender, stiff arms another, and then gets across the 25 with a dive. It's Prince who'll be credited with the tackle.
I'm not sure what happened here. Left side of your screen, C.J. Dupree, the tight end, just let Tennyson come flying through. Tennyson almost made another play. Watch 13 guys. It looked like Dupree was trying to block him and just let him go.
Well, it's a gain of 6 yards. Williams back in as McClellan checks out. McClellan's had a very good second half. Alabama only had 24 yards on the ground in the first half. They double that up and then some. On third down, Milroe underneath, and he has Williams, who's out of bounds close to the 30. So Saunders was there making sure that he covered him. Well shy of the first down.
He was looking to Law going down the right sideline, trying to get the ball down the field with enough yards to pick up the first down. It wasn't there. Smart play just to check the ball down. Don't make a bad play worse and be able to punt and get rid of this. You'll see him looking deep down the field on the right side. Prince has him covered, and it comes right down to Williams for a short gain, and it forces the punt.
With the way their defense is playing right now, a punt is not a bad thing.
Watkins back deep to receive this punt. And he calls for the fair catch close to the 27-yard line. Well, it's a 14-point game. Nick Saban wanted his team to make some adjustments. They have. Lane Kiffin's team, not necessarily the adjustments he wants.
Opponent yet.
Well, big-time whiteout at Penn State. Brad and Gary will have that with Jenny. And that pass play is broken up. It was in the direction of Trey Harris, who's played limited snaps today. I think they're just happy having him on the field, but Arnold did a great job.
They definitely are happy because he has 5 touchdowns already. But watch both of these guys. Some people, he grabs a little bit of that jersey. The reason it's not called, I believe, is because Harris is pushing and Arnold is pushing. When you see the hand fighting, you just let those guys play it out.
Harris stays in the ball game. That's the offensive numbers we talked about for Ole Miss and what they have today. It's been a much quieter day. Bentley, not much is there. And he's out of bounds. It's a good job by the Alabama defense, and that's why those numbers are so low today.
Very impressed by Alabama's defense. I mean, Ole Miss's offense the first 3 games looked unstoppable. Kevin Steele, the veteran defensive coordinator, a lot of talk this week about who the play caller is. Whoever the play caller is, they're doing a heck of a job so far today.
They're down at 6. They go with a jet sweep. Wade, nothing there. Read beautifully. Blackshire was able to make that tackle. And they got a lot of guys that they roll in.
Dart is staying out there right now. I mean, I don't think you call that play on 3rd down unless you're going to go for it on 4th. That's a very conservative 3rd down call. And Lane Kiffin rolling the dice a little bit here.
They converted the only 4th down opportunity they had earlier. It's 4th down and 8. Dart looking to throw. Middle of the field. Pass is complete. He's got his man Watkins, and he's got a 1st down. Jalen Key made the tackle. I mean, desperation now. You're down 2 scores.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's still 7 minutes and change, but I think that's the right decision by Lane. And now I know it's the right decision by Lane because they got it.
Good job by Watkins, one-on-one right there in the slot, just winning his matchup. And that's a guy they look to go to, who they believe is on the brink of a breakout.
Dart 17 of 29. They hand the ball off. The Judkins, not much is there. You surprised with a handoff there, guys?
I was just about to say, Tom, I'm a little bit surprised that Ole Miss is running the ball as much as they are. And also, they're substituting. They're kind of moving slow here. You know, they're 5th in the country, getting the playoff every 22 seconds, but they're slow right now. They're not getting the plays off nearly as fast as they normally do.
Well, that's what they'd like to get. Their average of 17 per game in the 4th quarter. It's 2nd most in FBS.
I mean, this is taking a lot of time off the clock right now.
And I think it's frustrating for a Temple offense when you're not able to get anything going to know what to call next.
Dart, middle of the field. Pass is complete to Watkins again. He's inside Alabama territory.
I said it earlier. Watkins is the go-to guy. Right now for this Ole Miss offense, you have to get something going. Back-to-back plays. We've seen Dart, when he's throwing the ball, look to go to his guy, Watkins.
That's a career-high 9 receptions for Watkins. Dart wrapped up and taken down from behind. Braswell, so athletic. That's 4 sacks now for Alabama.
Right side of your screen, Braswell gets upfield, and then right there, right when you get deeper than the quarterback, you want to retrace there. Now, even if he didn't get him, they had Blackshire spying Dart. So even if Braswell didn't get him, Blackshire would have. They're not going to let Dart run on some of these empty set plays.
And again, clock is winding, under 5 minutes to play. It's 2nd and 14. Bentley in the backfield. They go to Watkins. Watkins, nothing's there. Ripped down. Dallas Turner read it beautifully.
I'm confused on some of these play calls by Ole Miss right now. I mean, Dallas Turner just flies upfield, beats the left guard. That's almost an impossible block for the left guard, and just eats up Jordan Watkins. I don't know about all these jet sweeps right now, Jay.
Well, it's the same play they ran the last time on 3rd down. That time to Wade, this time Watkins. This play's not working right now. They need to be able to try to drive the ball down the field.
Facing a 3rd down and 23.
And again, a lot of time.
Dart steps up, going long, middle of the field, broken up. Caleb Downs stepped in front of Watkins. It's 4th down for Ole Miss.
Really good play by Caleb Downs. Almost could have stepped in front of it and intercepted it. I would have liked to see Jackson Dart maybe try to get half the yards back to now come back on 4th down, be able to have a better opportunity to pick it up. There are not many plays in the playbook that you have drawn up for 4th and 23 to pick up the 1st down.
And this is the 10th play of the drive, but you're still not in Alabama territory.
Curious to see if Bama just plays really soft zone or pressures Dart to try to make him get the ball out of his hands quickly and then makes the tackle.
Looks like they're going to pressure on 4th down. Dart lofts one, pass is complete to Bentley, and Bentley's got the 1st down. Malachi Moore eventually took him out of bounds. That was a really good pass.
Wow. Really good. Ole Miss does a really good job of executing. Bama shows pressure, but then those guys drop out. It's just a 3-man rush, and everybody else is spying.
Gain of 25, and this play is blown dead. I think the ref said no play.
The center judge was not in position for the substitution process. 1st down.
I don't think Lane Kiffin's too happy about that. He wanted his offense to get up and go.
Right. But in college football, if you substitute, you got to give the other team a chance to substitute as well, which is why I'm a little bit surprised that Ole Miss is subbing as much as they are on this drive and taking up time off the clock. Because when they sub, Alabama's going to sub because that takes it even more time.
Dart on 1st down, looking to the right side, and his pass is caught. Wow, Dayton Wade with an unbelievable grab.
A really good grab as he extends all the way out to be able to hold on to this. This is what we've been waiting to see from Jackson Dart, being able to make these pinpoint accurate passes and take this offense down the field.
Center judge backs up. Harris top of the screen. They hand it off, though.
Wow.
And then Judkins wrapped up by Tim Keenan.
I guess they thought they could maybe pop a run up the middle there, but you're still down 2 scores and running the ball with less than 3 minutes left, and everything's still a little bit too slow for my liking if you're an Ole Miss fan.
On 2nd down, Dart looks right. Pressure's coming, and he sacks Dallas Turner high in the air to take him down. The ball did come loose, but I think Dart was already down at that point.
They came from both sides.
Oh, it was out.
Braswell and Turner. Ball came out. Looks like Pettis, or one of the Ole Miss Rebels offensive lineman, McGee, able to recover it.
Alabama 6 tackles for loss this half. It's 3rd down, and Dart toward the end zone, overthrows a wide open Watkins, and you can see his frustration.
He had him. He just misses him on the throw. You're seeing Watkins jump up and down at the end, just run straight down the seam, uncovered. A mistake by Bama. You'll see him on the right of your screen. Nobody has him. Downs is too far away. Dart wants that one back. He just throws it too high.
Watkins can't believe it, and neither can I. That's a huge missed opportunity. They got 1 4th and long already. Can they get another?
Got to get inside the 3-yard line for 1st down. Trips to the bottom. Here comes the pressure. Dart's hit as he throws. Incomplete. Malachi Moore came blitzing in.
The last 4th down, we talked about Bama showing pressure and then rushing 3 and spying somebody else on Dart. This time, they don't take any chances. They bring a few blitzers at Dart and do not even allow him to get the pass off as Malachi Moore is coming through and makes the hit.
Alabama will take over with the lead. Time is winding down. 14-point lead for Alabama. Let's take a look at the Ford game changer. How about Jace McClellan, what he's done today?
Well, especially I feel like in the second half as the Alabama offensive line started to wear down the Ole Miss defense. McClellan busted a bunch of big runs, including breaking that tackle for that touchdown.
7 carries, 59 yards in the second half. Last week it was Williams. This week is McClellan. These guys are unbelievable the way they're able to run in the second half when they've worn down the defense.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jackson Dart, it has not been his day. He's been beat up, particularly here in this second half. And now Alabama will try to run off the last 2:06. Ole Miss does have 3 timeouts left. McClellan in the backfield, 94 yards on the ground. They pitch it to him. And McClellan trying to get up to the 20-yard line, and the timeout called by Kiffin. Seastrunk made the tackle. 2 minutes to play. We'll be back to Tuscaloosa. Alabama's up by 2 scores. Presented by Jersey Mike Subs. You know, we were told all week that Jalen Hale, the freshman, they were going to get him the ball more often. They got him a ball for the touchdown. Let's listen to Eli Golds.
With Boots in the left slot. Play action. Milroe looks long. Has a man there. Touchdown, Alabama!
The great Eli Golds.
Oh, my goodness.
The flag comes in on 3rd down.
They went with the hard count and got Ole Miss to jump. That's a disciplined play by Alabama.
Offside. Defense. Number 97. Moves it to the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty, and this results in a first down.
Jamon Gordon moved.
Bottom of your screen. Boy, he flinched and then he went. Love the play call there by Tommy Rees to go with the hard count. It's worth it.
Usually don't see it because you don't want to risk getting a false start yourself.
They'll give it off to McClellan. And McClellan stopped initially, but this is what he's been doing in the second half. Kept his feet moving, and he's over 100 yards for the 2nd time in his career. Cedric Johnson missed. And a final timeout is called by Lane Kiffin.
He has such a great ability to stay low and burrow through defenders for extra yards.
A reminder, the U.S. Army postgame show is coming up next. Adam, Rick, and BJ will put a bow on this one, bring you the day's best highlights, and get you set again for number 24 Iowa and 7th-ranked Penn State, the whiteout up at Happy Valley. All week long, Nick Saban and his team have heard the noise. You know, they didn't look great last week against South Florida. They benched their quarterback. He certainly has stepped up here today, but the defense has stepped up also.
And the first half was a lot of the same issues.
Right.
The second half has been much, much better. This second half is by far the best Alabama's played this year. And if they keep playing this way moving forward, Jason, they could have a lot of success.
Definitely. And Malachi Moore talked about the players-only meeting they had and how they just needed to come together. We've seen that in the second half.
They give it off to McClellan again, and he gets to the 40, moves the pile close to the 41. Big East made the tackle for Ole Miss. You know, and again, that team meeting, they said, well, we have them all the time. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but it seemed like it was a big deal for the outsiders.
Well, when you hear about a team meeting after they lose at home by double digits to Texas, and then they have a lackluster performance at USF, then everybody, oh, team meeting, but Malachi Moore told us he's the one that called it.
Right.
And that they've had a lot of them over the years. He learned from Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and some of those guys to refocus before the conference slate.
3rd down and 1. And Milroe will keep it himself. They look to make sure that the chains can move. They do. And that's going to do it, basically. I mean, there's under a minute left to play. Nick Saban's got the headset off.
They only have to snap it one more time.
He's going to move to 29-3 against his former assistants, who he did say he is grateful for, all of them, that he's had to face because of the job they did here at Alabama and the fact that they've moved on to other jobs. 42 seconds left to play. Victory formation for Alabama, and Milroe will take a knee, and that'll do it. 8 in a row for Alabama over Ole Miss as they win it by a final score of 24-10 with a dominant second half. Defensively, and offensively. Put a little exclamation point on the defense. The two coaches meet. Smiles from both. Jackson Dart will have to regroup after today's ball game. Milroe, I think he did regroup in this second half, guys.
And we saw him play with confidence. He found a way to make the necessary plays, especially bouncing back after interception in the first half. To be able to come back and play that well, really impressed by this young man.
Tiffany's with Nick Saban.
Coach, you emphasized needing to overcome those mistakes in the first half. You were able to do that in the second half. What changed for this team?
Well, I think we just focused better. We didn't make, a lot of bad arrows. And the guys played hard, man. I tell you guys, you got to trust in each other. I can trust you to do the right thing, but you got to trust each other to do it, and everybody's got to be responsible for that. And I think they did a great job of that in the second half.
Jalen Milroe didn't play last week. You all talked about how selfless and what a good teammate he was. What did he show you today in terms of his mental toughness and physical toughness?
Well, he took some shots today, but he did a great job out there executing the offense. Of course, the one bad, interception in the end zone took some points off the board, but overall, I was really pleased with the way he played and commanded the offense.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, he wanted him to be a point guard and basically direct this offense, and that is what he did. For Jason McCourty, Ross Tucker, Tiffany Blackman, Gene Steratore, and our entire CBS crew, this is Tom McCarthy saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where Alabama knocks off Ole Miss. Remember, tonight on CBS, number 24 Iowa takes on 7th-ranked Penn State. We'll get you back to our New York studio for the U.S. Army postgame show. That's coming up right after these messages.